back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, I'm Mariana from Crafting Happiness and I post step-by-step crochet tutorials that teach you new patterns and techniques the easy way. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet the V-stitch ripple. Please comment below what stitch would you like to learn and I'll be happy to make a tutorial about it. But for now, let's start on this one. I have made two samples for you. One is in one single color so you can see the overall texture and how it looks like from both sides, and then one that I've used with two colors so you can see the pattern effect it has when you do so. The V-stitch ripple pattern requires you to make multiples of 14 chains plus 5. My starting chain has 47. So let's start with the first row. And we will be making a double crochet into the 5th chain from the hook. So from the end, count backwards 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Into that 5th one, we are going to make a double crochet. And we are going to start our repeat section from this point on by skipping 2 and make a V-stitch into the 3rd one. So to make a V-stitch, make a double crochet, then chain 1 and then a double crochet into the same space, and this is how you make a V-stitch. Now skip 2 and into the 3rd one we are going to make 2 V-stitches separated by a chain. So let's make our first V-stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, then a chain to separate them and another V-stitch into the same space, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and this is the top of our ripple. Now going downwards, skip 2, make a V-stitch into the next, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, then skip 2 and into the next we are going to start a double crochet 2 together that is separated by a chain, so it's going to look like an inverted V-stitch. So skip 2 into the 3rd, make an incomplete double crochet. So start your double crochet as usual, but do not finish it, leave it on your hook. Then we skip 1 and into the next one we make another incomplete double crochet, like so. And now we're gonna join them by yarning over and pull through all loops, and it looks like an inverted V-stitch, double crochet 2 together. And this is the repeat section from this point where we started skipping stitches all the way to the upside down V-stitch. Now you repeat this all the way to the end of the row. Let's do it again. Skip 2 into the 3rd, make a V-stitch, skip 2 into the 3rd, we make 2 V-stitches separated with a chain. So this is our first V-stitch, chain to separate them, and another V-stitch. There we go. Now skip 2, another V-stitch, skip 2, and we make 2 double crochet together. So an incomplete, skip 2, incomplete double crochet next, then skip 1, an incomplete double crochet next, and then we join them. And this is your repeat. So like I said, repeat this section until the end of the row. V-stitch, we skip 2, V-stitch, skip 2, the top of the ripple, 2 V-stitches separated by 1 chain, skip 2, another V-stitch, skip 2, and double crochet 2 together separated by chain. So incomplete double crochet, skip 1, incomplete double crochet, and then we join them at the top. And this is how your very first row looks like. You can see how it curves. And now we're going to continue with the second round, chain 2 and turn, and this chain 2 counts as an incomplete double crochet. What we're going to do is basically double crochet 2 together again. This is your first incomplete double crochet, the chain 2, and then we are going to make another incomplete double crochet inside the very first V-stitch. So let's do that. That's your incomplete double crochet, and now we are going to crochet them together. And this is your inverted V, kind of brings the pattern together. Now next we are going to make a V-stitch into the next V-stitch. From this point on, we are only working inside the V-stitches or in between them. We are now working in these stitches. So V-stitch into the next V-stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Now remember, we have made a chain at the top of the ripple. We have made a chain to separate the 2 V-stitches. In there we are making the next ripple top. So 2 V-stitches separated by 1 chain in that chain 1 space between the V-stitches. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, then chain 1 to separate the next V-stitch, and into the same space, double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. Now into the next, we are making a V-stitch inside the V-stitch below. So double crochet, chain 1, and then double crochet. And now we're going towards the dip of the V, and as you can see here we have the inverted V with 2 V-stitches on a side. We need to make another double crochet 2 together, and we will anchor them inside these 2 V stitches. We are gonna completely ignore this double crochet 2 together. So to make the next double crochet 2 together, we are gonna anchor the incomplete double crochet to each other like so. Let me show you what I mean. Let's make an incomplete double crochet into the next V-stitch. So we're gonna leave it on our hook. Then we completely ignore this double crochet 2 together, and we go to the next V-stitch and make another incomplete double crochet. And now we are going to connect them together by yarning over, pulling through 2. And what this does is brings the ripple together and creates this ripple effect. And basically that is your repeat section. Let's start again. I'll show you another repeat. So like I said, V-stitch, then another V-stitch, chain 1, V-stitch at the top of the ripple, then another V-stitch, and then the double crochet 2 together. This is your repeat section. So again, let me show you one more repeat. Into the next V-stitch, which is part of the top ripple, these 2 V-stitches, into the first V-stitch, we are making a V-stitch. So that's double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. And then in between the 2 V-stitches in that chain 1, we are going to make our next 2 V-stitches separated by a chain. So in that space, make a V-stitch, chain 1, and another V-stitch. We separated by a chain and create the next V-stitch into the same space. So that's the easiest way to explain this pattern, so you will know how to continue it and make it as big as you like. Now, part of the repeat section is to make another V-stitch into this V-stitch below. So let's do that. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. And then we are at the dip of the ripple and we need the double crochet 2 together. And we are going to anchor it into these 2 V-stitches. So incomplete double crochet, skip this, into the next V-stitch, incomplete double crochet. And then connect them. And that's your new double crochet 2 together, which brings the bottom of the ripple together. And that's your repeat. And I have one more repeat if you would like to see before I will tell you what the repeat rows are. And again, into the next V-stitch, we make a V-stitch. Okay, that's V-stitch. Now, this here, this chain 1 is the chain that separates these 2 V-stitches. So in that chain 1 space, we are going to make a V-stitch, a chain 1, and then another V-stitch, just to create the top of the ripple. Like so. And then V-stitch in a V-stitch below. And to end the row, we need a double crochet 2 together. One is anchored in the V-stitch, but because we don't have another V-stitch on the other side, we will anchor it into the chain 3 at the beginning. So incomplete double crochet, and then into the 3 chain, the top chain there, another incomplete double crochet. And connect them. So this is how you make the end double crochet 2 together. And this is how your second row looks like. And from this point on, this pattern, it's quite simple. All you have to do is repeat this second row over and over until you have the required length. And this is how you crochet the V-stitch ripple. I hope my tutorial was easy to follow. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below and I'll be more than happy to answer them. And also comment below what other stitch would you like to learn, and I would love to make a tutorial about it and show you how to make it. Happy crocheting!